Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast, where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, and anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and hey, guys, listen, if you were going on across the internet looking for some weird, like, iguana porn or something, I don't know what you guys are into, but it's okay. I won't judge. And you accidentally came across my podcast and you're not a movie fan, well, hopefully I can convince you to be one. This is episode 149, guys, and if you're new to the show, welcome. What we do on the show is I will take a look at some of the movie news that dropped during the week. I will take a look at some of the trailers that also dropped, and then I'll have my reviews of the movies coming out of each week and box office results for the weekend. So, it's a good old time. I promise you won't cry too much, and your ears won't bleed too much, but we have a fun time here. So on this week's episode 149, I will be having my reviews of Deepwater Horizon and Masterminds. So it's going to be a very diverse weekend for sure. Before we begin, if you're listening on YouTube and you want an audio-only version of the podcast, link will be in the description below. And if you are listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or SoundCloud, and you want a video version, link will be in the description below. Just a quick note for people watching on YouTube. You'll probably notice that the camera angle has changed. I have the microphone closer to my mouth, and I have headphones on. And that's just because a podcast is an audio form of entertainment. So I figure, why not have the best audio? Because I highly doubt that all you people watching on YouTube are not looking at my beautiful white pasty Casper face. You're actually doing stuff and you're playing this in the background probably. So I figured I have a better audio sense for this show. That's why the microphone is so close to me. And I have the headphones so I can monitor on Spreaker and whatnot, because the majority of the listeners are audio-based listeners. So I'm doing it for you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. So, I just want to get that out of the way for all the people that are just really curious as to why the audio sounds better and why YouTube looks fucking weird. So, yeah, guys, let's get into it. First of all, how are you guys doing? You guys doing pretty good? It's been a pretty interesting week. My roommate got an Xbox One, and I've been playing a bunch of shit on there. So, I've been kind of sleepwalking through the week. I'm a little tired. So, but don't worry, I'm gonna deliver this episode because that's how I do. That's how I do, boo. All right, so we'll start with some movie news, guys. Let's jump right into the movie news, I guess. So, the first piece of news is that Michael Bay, good old Mr. Bay, old Spice Bay, whatever that seasoning is called. Michael Bay to me is just a guy that is a smart businessman. I mean, he's really good at producing films. He knows how to cater to people and markets, and he really makes movies that a lot of people like. Unfortunately, most of the people in the critic world do not like his movies, but the majority of the audience, which is the main movie-going audience, they like the Transformers films and most of the films he puts out, so he continues to make money, so he's going to continue to make movies. Speaking of movies continuing to be made, he's going to be making Transformers 5 called Transformers The Last Night. Now, I reported on a story a while back that Michael Bay was going to put Optimus Prime and the Autobots and all that shit into the King Arthur world. And I was like, oh, wow, that sounds really chaotic and weird. How can this get any more strange? Oh, wait. So the news this week is that okay, so they went to Winston Churchill's house, I believe, and they dressed it in swastikas, basically, to have it as the home of Adolf Hitler for Transformers The Last Night. So, I'm no mathematician, but let's add up all the elements to this movie. So, King Arthur, Nazis, and Transformers. Huh. Michael Bay. You piqued my interest. Not really. It looks awful. But, listen, if you're going to jump the shark on any franchise, you might as well fucking go all out and not hold anything back. So the fact that there's going to be Nazis in this film and King Arthur, I'm assuming the Optimus Prime is going to Bill and Ted it and basically just go throughout time and, reach 88 gigawatts or whatever. So, it's like... I'm okay with it. It's whatever. If you're if you're gonna jump the shark, you better fucking just go for it. So the fact that they're gonna time travel and do a bunch of shit with the timeline sounds pretty disturbing. His franchise is going places, guys. It's going places. So the next piece of news is that you guys remember the Halloween remakes that Rob Zombie did? He did 1 and he did number 2. I am one of those people that actually like the Rob Zombie Halloween remake. Because a lot of people will look at it and go, I don't want to see the Shape, which is Michael Myers. I don't want to see his backstory. I just want him to be a presence throughout the film, just wrecking shit. I get that. But I actually liked going into a little bit of the backstory and have him be in an insane asylum and all that stuff and be kind of this unstoppable force of nature. I enjoyed the Halloween remake. On the flip side, number 2 sucked dick. So, I get it. The Halloween remakes that Rob Zombie has done have not been particularly good for most people. I like the first one. The second one, no thank you. But the news is, and this isn't really news, it's just a comment that, I want to address. John Carpenter, who is the originator of the original Halloween and, things like The Thing. There you go. I walked right into that. He is one of those guys that knows how to create a horror film, creating it with atmosphere, dread, practical effects, great harsh lighting, and cinematography. So I believe the interview was back in April, and he was being interviewed and whatnot. And so they asked him, like, what do you think of the Rob Zombie remakes of your film? And he said they're shit. Like, literally, that was the quote. So, I mean, I get it. To most people, they're pretty bad. For me, I like half of them. So there you go. I like 1 out of the 2. But I can understand someone taking your property or your idea or whatever and basically turning it into something completely different than what you envision. Of course you're going to retaliate. Of course you're going to strike back and go, well, that's not what I really wanted. But people have to realize when you adapt something, when you take an idea or like you pay homage to someone and you want to remake a certain property, you have to realize that it's going to be a different vision than yours. Now, I realize that John Carpenter, that's his baby. That's what he's most well known for, is Halloween. So I understand the hatred. But sir, Mr. Carpenter, I like you quite a bit. I like all your films, and I think you're a very talented composer and director. But you have to realize Rob Zombie took that. He said that, he was going to do his version of it. You let that happen, and this is what we got. This is what his version was. And I realized, like I said, it goes against to what the original was in terms of like, just keeping Michael Myers in the background and, he's kind of like this mysterious figure and we don't want to know the backstory. I get all that. But saying the first one is shit, I will back that up and go, no, it's not really. But I will stand by that fact for the second one because it's pretty atrocious. So yeah, so that's not really news, guys, but I just had to address that because I dig the first one, but I still like the original Halloween as well. And since it is October, go watch that shit if you haven't. It's a good old time. And the next piece of news is that Mr. Stan Lee, I believe he's 96 years old, the creator of most Marvel stuff, and he is a legend in the comic book world. The news is, and this is kind of a sad piece of news, not really, but when you think about it, it's kind of sad. Stan Lee has filmed his next 4 cameos back to back. Now, I'm assuming they're for Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Thor, and maybe Black Panther or Captain Marvel. Or no, probably Guardians of the Galaxy too. So I don't know the exact films, but I do know that he filmed 4 cameos in a row. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, that's fucking awesome. We get 4 more cameos. The reason why he did this is because, let's face facts, the guy is 96 years old. He doesn't have much, life left in him. So if you film them back to back now, then you can have them for, if, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't die in the near future. But if he does, at least he'll have some of his cameos already filmed, and that's just awesome. I'm so glad that Stan Lee's always been like a sport and just like being in all these films. One of my favorite ones is Deadpool for sure, when he played the DJ at the strip club. I mean, come on, that's he's a DJ at a strip club and he's 96 years old. So yeah, no, I think that's pretty awesome that he filmed his next 4 cameos in the can, got him done, out of the way. So congratulations, Stan Lee. You're just still working hard at 96. He is an inspiration. All right. The next piece of news is that Martin Scorsese, the Scorsese of Martin, he has a new film coming out called Silence, and this stars Andrew Garfield, Liam Neeson, and I forgot the rest. But anyways, they're the 2 main people. They play priests, and I believe they go and search for something about Christianity. I forgot the actual thing. But then again, I really don't want to know anything because it's Martin Scorsese. If he wants to film a Lowe's, the commercial, then I'm okay with it. I will watch it, and I'll probably claim it's the best film of the year. But so the news is that Silence, his next film about religion and whatnot, it's his passion project. He's going to be releasing it in December. That is awesome. Now, his last film that he came out with was The Wolf of Wall Street, which also came out in December. It came out Christmas Day, which is, hey, kids, you want to go see Leo snort coke off a hooker's ass and crawl around on Quaaludes as high as a motherfucker? Yeah, daddy. So, Wolf of Wall Street came out around Christmas time, the ultimate family film. And it did very, very well. I think its budget was like $100 million. I think it ended up making like $350 million worldwide. So it did very, very good. So the fact that Silence is going to be released in December, it's great timing. It's going to follow the Wolf of Wall Street path, which is actually kind of ironic when you think about it, because Wolf of Wall Street is probably the most hardcore and moral thing you could watch, but then Silence will probably be the exact opposite since it's dealing with religion. But yeah, having it being released in December is prime location for the Oscars, and just, kind of like that winter feel where you get all these Oscar movies pushed out at the end of December. I think it makes total sense, and I'm looking forward to it. It's Martin Scorsese, man. Like I said, he can literally come out with anything, and I'm totally down to watch it. And the last piece of news, which is a no shit piece of news, Doctor Strange is going to be in Infinity War. Yeah, no shit. When these actors sign up for these deals from Marvel, or even DC for that matter, they're going to be in multiple films. And the fact that Infinity War wouldn't have Doctor Strange is just asinine to me. Pure asininity. That's not a word, but you guys get my drift. So, it would actually make no sense if he wasn't in Infinity War, because I have only read one Doctor Strange comic, but from what I got from that comic in terms of feel for his character, this guy is one of the strongest superheroes in Marvel history. Like, this guy can wipe out anything, because the issue I have, he's out in space, like fighting, what was it, Thanos? No, he's facing Adam Warlock. And so Adam Warlock gets a hold of the gauntlet, and Doctor Strange pretty much wipes him out in like 2 panels. Like, it's insane to me how strong he is with, the abilities that he has. So having him not in there doesn't make any sense to me, because you need someone like that to fight Thanos and take him down probably in 20 seconds. But and also, Doctor Strange has one of the gems for the Infinity Gauntlet that Thanos needs. So he needs to be in contact with Doctor Strange in general. So yeah, it just makes no sense if he wasn't in there. Because looking at the heroes right now, the 4 strongest people in the films are Hulk, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and probably Doctor Strange. So those are the 4 strongest people. So you need those strong heavy hitters to fight this giant purple dildo that's going to come down and just wipe away everything. So you need those 4 people. So having him in Infinity War, no shit. Thank you, Disney, for that pointless information. So that will do it for the movie news, guys. What was your favorite piece of news? Comment in the place with my face and let me know. All right, moving on to some movie trailers. You guys ready for some trailers? There's a few that dropped. I got to be honest with you. All of them are indie films. I know, right? It's fucking crazy. Really, well, I guess one big blockbuster trailer dropped, but it wasn't online. So I guess let me talk about that one. I actually was really surprised that CBS Films did this. So when I went to go see Deepwater Horizon, the newest trailer for Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg's third collaboration, Patriots Day, which is about the Boston bombing that happened about 3 years ago. So that trailer played in front of Deepwater Horizon, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, that hit all the emotions that you wanted it to feel. The cinematography was really good. Like everything about that teaser trailer, because it wasn't really like a full trailer. It was more, like a teaser just to let you know that it is coming in December, another December film. And it looks pretty good. So that's actually the only like big release type of trailer, and it wasn't even online. And I kind of like that model where like it's only for the Deepwater Horizon people that see the movie. That's awesome. It's kind of like, here's your little present for coming to see the movie, and they'll probably just release the trailer on Monday anyways online. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, moving on to the official list. First one I want to talk about is Patterson, which stars Adam Driver, and it's written and directed by Jim Jarmusch. I fucked that up big time. Anyways, he the most recent one he did was Only Lovers Left Alive. And he also did, I believe he did Brothers with Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I think he did. I like Brothers quite a bit. Anyways, Patterson stars Adam Driver, and he plays a bus driver in this town called Patterson. And basically, he falls in love with this girl and whatnot. So it's kind of like a little love story and whatnot. And I liked it. It was very different than most love stories, and we'll get to another one in just a second. But in this one, Adam Driver's character is very unique. He thinks about the world, and he thinks about things in a different manner than most people, and that kind of makes him have a little bit of quirk to him, and a different personality than what you would see in a main lead in a romance film. So that kind of gets me excited to see him kind of branch out and really get in the limelight, because you guys know him as Kylo Ren from the Star Wars Force Awakens movie, but in this one, he kind of takes a more smaller role. He plays a good guy and not a dick. The Force Awakens, man, I've seen that. I saw that movie 3 times, and it still got me angry what Kylo Ren did. But yeah, no, Patterson looks really great. Looks like just a really good indie film by Mr. Jarmusch. I just fucked that up again. But looks really good. I'm excited to see Adam Driver expand his filmography, because earlier this year I saw him in what was it? Midnight Special. And I thought he was pretty good. I thought the movie was whatever overall, but he was really good. All right, so the next one I want to talk about is Personal Shopper. Oh man, this sounds like a rom-com, right? It sounds like something Isla Fisher would do, and you would find it at like a bin at a gas station or something. So this one stars Kristen Stewart. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, oh Jesus, I'm done listening to this fucking episode. I don't want to hear any more about that woman. Believe it or not, she's actually my favorite one out of the 3 branching out from the Twilight films. Because if you watch Twilight, it is awful. Like, it's really awful. Like, I would rather sit on a cactus, maybe spin on it, maybe bleed a little bit, because that would be more pleasurable than watching those movies. But watching her outside of that franchise, she's starting to kind of grow into her own. And she's getting really good. The movies I've seen her in, and all the ones I've heard about, with all the other smaller indie films that I haven't seen, she's just killing it left and right. And the director of Personal Shopper actually said in an article that Kristen Stewart is the best actress of her generation. I mean, come on, that's pretty fucking high praise for someone that starred in a movie where she looked like she was mouth breathing the whole time and putting her hair back behind her ears. Um, but this trailer, I didn't really know what it was about. I just kind of got like the mood of the atmosphere and whatnot. It looks good. It looks like a really kind of psychological kind of horror film. Yeah, I don't really much about it. It looks just radically different than what she's done in terms of her other smaller indie films. So yeah, I'm totally down for this. And I think this won Best Director at Cannes. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm most likely wrong. But it won something very, very big. So Personal Shopper, if you guys still don't believe in Kristen Stewart, excuse me, then I would suggest watch this trailer and watch all of her other movies, because I will actually give her props. She has turned it into a 180, flipped her career around, and now I don't even associate her with those stupid vampire movies anymore. So yeah, her and Robert Pattinson are doing very good. Taylor Lautner, not so much. Maybe he could work at a Target, like in the entertainment system area or something. He would do really well in that. I would pay to go see that. Like, I would literally like give Target money to see him work there in a red vest. So yeah, Personal Shopper looks really good. The next one I want to talk about is Blue Jay. Speaking of romance films, this one stars Mark Duplass and Sarah Paulson. She is most well known for everything that Ryan Murphy has done outside of Glee, American Horror Story, The People versus O.J. Simpson, and Mark Duplass. You know him from The League. You also know him from all of his behind the scenes stuff, like he directed Cyrus, Jeff Who Lives at Home. And he also did Togetherness, which was on HBO. The guy is pretty much just everywhere. And I met him once when I interviewed him for The One I Love, and I thought he was just super cool. And I got a little nervous because, The League is one of my favorite comedies. And I was nervous to talk to him. I was like, "Hey, Mark, you're really good at improv." And he's just like, "No, I'm not." I'm just like, "Sir, stop being so modest." So yeah, Mark's a cool guy. But this one, really cool. Mark Duplass is in a grocery store, I believe, and Sarah Paulson kind of sees him, and they used to be, I believe, lovers or friends. I forgot. Either way, you're just kind of seeing them bond throughout the entire trailer, and they kind of just, oh no, I believe it. They were lovers, and they reminisce about their old times that they had. So it's a very different type of romance film, because we see these two lovers that used to be lovers, but now they're just friends, reminiscing about the old times and stuff. I'm sure feelings will be brought up. I'm sure a bunch of emotions will be boiling over, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of arguments and whatnot, but it looks really good. And I gotta tell you, to be honest with you, it is because of the black and white. It feels like an old classic 50s movie or something that is just now being released. So I really like that aesthetic of the black and white. I think it really kind of adds to the film, and I like the performances from what I've seen. And the cool thing about this trailer, the very first quote that you see by a critic in that trailer is done by Nick Castelletto of We Live Entertainment. I actually do a couple of shows with him on We Live Entertainment, and I'm on that YouTube channel as well. So it's kind of cool to see someone get recognized for that. So yeah, Blue Jay looks really good. There's really nothing more to talk about. It just looks like a really nice little tender love film. Yes, I just used the word tender. You can go cry now. All right. The next one I want to talk about is Before the Flood. Now, this one, it doesn't star anyone, but it has Leo in it, Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's a documentary about climate change. Looks really good. I'm sorry, but the people that, I mean, This is just my opinion, so don't get offended if you think of the opposite. But I think that climate change is a real thing. I believe we are damaging our planet. If you don't think we are, what planet have you been living on? Seriously, like, all the resources that we use and all the stuff that we drain this planet from, we're eventually going to run it bone dry, and it's going to suck so bad because I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that it won't happen in my lifetime, and it's going to kind of suck for future generations. But this one, it's a really kind of eye-opening look at climate change and what it's about and whatnot. And I think what Leo is doing something that he believes in, standing up for and trying to make a change, because he's always been about climate change for several years now. And ever since he did The Revenant, he's just been kind of really pushing for it, considering that when they were filming the movie The Revenant, if you guys have seen the movie, it's mostly shot in like winterous kind of terrain or whatever, and there's a lot of snow. Now they've had to do several reshoots, and so they've had to go back and refilm some stuff. When they went back to the original area that they were filming, there was no snow left because it was really warm there. So they actually had to scour the globe to like try to find a place with snow so they could finish the movie. So that movie kind of opened up his eyes even more, and this is why he's more of an activist now for it, speaking at the UN and whatnot, speaking with the president about this issue, because it is something that is harming our planet. So I think this documentary, hopefully will open up some people's eyes to it, and maybe we can slow down, carbon emissions and just slow the process down, because we're already at the point of no return. So we might as well just slow it the hell down before we wipe our whole species out in the next 50 years. So yeah, that's it for that trailer. The next trailer I want to talk about is King Cobra, and I'm going to briefly just talk about this. But it stars James Franco and a bunch of porn actors in gay pornography. I mean, I was talking to someone about it, and I said it reminded me of like a horror version of Boogie Nights. Like, it looks really really kind of unique. I actually want to see it. I'm not gonna like rush out to see it, and I'm not gonna pay for it. So if I get like a free screener for it, sure. But I have no desire to like immediately go up and see it. But it just, like I said, it looks like a horror version of Boogie Nights. That's the best way to describe it. So check out some King Cobra action if you dare. So the final trailer I want to talk about, which is by far my favorite trailer of the week, Fences. Starring and directed by Denzel Washington, also stars Viola Davis. This trailer, Denzel Washington plays a father, and his son, the trailer starts out like this. His son comes up to him. He's like, "Dad, why don't you love me?" And then Denzel turns around like, "I don't have to love you. Do you have food on your plate? Yes. Do you have clothes on your back? Yes. Do you have a roof over your head? Yes. That's all because of me. That doesn't mean I don't have to like you. Okay? I do it because I want to provide for you." It was something like that, but it was a really powerful speech. This movie has jumped up to my most anticipated for the rest of the year. It's based on a play, and Denzel is adapting it, like I said. And of course, I think the screenwriter is actually the person that wrote the play, so that's actually really, really cool. I'm really stoked for this. The performances look so on point. It looks so emotional just by watching the damn thing. I was like, Jesus, I don't want to fucking cry. I'm at work right now. But Denzel looks like he's going to deliver one of the best performances of his career. It looks like he's really trying to bring out the best performance out of Viola Davis and the kid that plays his son. I love that speech. It was a great way to showcase in the trailer and kind of be the base of the trailer while showing other clips on top of it. I thought it was a genius trailer and really looks like it could be an emotional drama, a family drama. So I'm really stoked for Fences. So holy shit, what a great way to end the week that is in trailers. So what was your favorite trailer of the week? Comment in the place on my face and let me know. All right. So guys, let's get into the main course, the bulk of the podcast, what you actually clicked on for. So basically, I wasted 30 minutes of your your time. So let's get into the movies. The movies I'm going to review. Now, I labeled this episode Deepwater Horizon and Masterminds. So you're probably thinking I'm gonna do Deepwater first and Masterminds second. Well, surprise, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna do Masterminds first. So let's review Masterminds. All right. So going into this movie, it looked god awful. It looked like the abortion that you would see behind the dumpster of a Denny's, and you just don't want to go near it or touch it. You're like, whoa, damn, that just looks a little too harsh for me. I'm good, fam. I'm out. The trailers looked awful. All the promotional advertising looked awful. I was just not looking forward to it. It's directed by Jared Hess, who did Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. And I'm actually on the opposite side. I didn't really care for Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre. So going into it, I was already like wanting to hate it. After the first 10 minutes, I actually kind of like this movie. Now, let me explain myself, so let's get real and break this down. So let's start with the writing and directing. In terms of the story, this bank heist, if you will, because it stars Zach Galifianakis and Kristen Wiig and Owen Wilson. They steal a bunch of money from the bank that they work at, and, you know, the heist in the cat and mouse game pursue. Now, this is based on a real story. This is not a made-up thing. Now, they probably took the story and, yes, added some stuff, took away some stuff. I get that adaptation. But this is a real story. It is a crazy-ass, stupid, lunacy-filled story, but it matches with the humor. So going in with the actual comedy of the film and the dialogue and stuff, it is stupid beyond belief, but god damn it, I was laughing so hard in some scenes. The reason why I like this one versus like Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre, it might just be because the actors in this film have better comedic timing than, say, a Jack Black or John Heder. I just enjoyed all the stupidity coming from each character. I enjoyed their actions. I enjoyed their lines of dialogue. I enjoyed a bunch of things about this film in terms of the humor. Even the visual gags were really well done, as dumb as they were. It's just one of those like comedies that really kind of hit me in the, I guess, the right spot. Like comedies have been lacking for me lately. Like, for instance, one of the last major comedies I saw in theaters, I believe, was Sausage Party. I liked the movie quite a bit. But before that, we have Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. And I didn't like that. But my audience I saw with fucking loved it. So comedy is subjective. I get that. But I am one of the only few people on the internet, I'm not even joking, scour the fucking internet. Put on your cape and cowl. Go do some detective work. I am literally the only person that likes Masterminds. I'm not saying it's a perfect film, but it's fine. It's enjoyable. But going back to the humor, there's something about it that just hit every single time, excluding the first 10 minutes, because that was fucking rough and I almost wanted to fall asleep or walk out. So I thought the humor was on point. The characters are idiots, but it works with the visual gags and the stupidity of the dialogue. I think it works tonally for that film. I'm not saying it works for every film, but it works for this one. Going into the directing, Jared Hess. Listen, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre, but I think he does a very good job adapting this kind of crazy story about these people that rob the bank that they work at and kind of just spin it into a really just kind of goofy comedy. And for some weird reason, the humor in this one, like I said, works because in Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, the humor is very offbeat and it's very quirky and unique and stuff. It just didn't really sink in with me as much as I thought it would because, oh my God, when I was a freshman in high school, I would go to school and these motherfuckers in my grade would just quote Napoleon Dynamite all the damn time. It's like, Jesus, can we talk about another movie? You've been talking about Napoleon Dynamite for like 4 weeks now. Just shoot me in the dick. And I will just, I just want to be away from everyone, be in the hospital, put on some headphones, and just recover from my dick blasting surgery that I just did to myself. But this one, it works. And the thing I do like about Jared Heston, the thing I will give him credit for, is that he always uses timing and cinematography to his advantage in terms of how he has the jokes presented, or how he has the lines delivered, or how he has, characters placed in a scene. It works. I think just everything that deals with comedy in terms of timing and whatnot, I just think it works better in this one than his other two, and that's because of the director. Now, going into the acting, guys, this is a comedy. You're not going to see the most Oscar award-winning performances. Zach Galifianakis does just fine. I think he's serviceable. Kristen Wiig is fine. Owen Wilson's got some pretty fine lines, and I've seen him kind of just dip off in the most recently. Jason Sudeikis is fucking hilarious. I will say this is the best film that all these actors have done in a while. I know it's not really saying much because they've all been kind of doing mediocre comedies up to date. But if I had to pick one in most recent memory, this is the better one that they've done. So yeah, acting all around is fine. Cinematography, like I said, Hess really likes to use different camera angles and techniques to provide and kind of help the joke. And I think that really kind of goes a long way when you're doing a movie as crazy as this. So yeah, cinematography is pretty good. Editing wise, the movie's about an hour and a half, I believe. Like I said, the first 10 minutes, I am fucking telling you guys, it is rough as dick. And I wouldn't know how rough a dick is. This podcast got a little weird. Congratulations. This is the podcaster you guys chose to listen to this week. The first 10 minutes, guys, it was so bad. All the jokes were trying too hard. It was like they were just like shoving it in your face going, please laugh, please, please. No, it's like you got to be a little bit more subtle about it, which is ironic. I say this and I sound like a hypocrite because the rest of the movie is not very subtle, but it works. So it's weird. But I sat there and I was like, oh my God, is the whole movie going to be like this? And the crowd was eating it up. They were fucking loving it. And I was like, oh no, the whole movie's going to be like this. But then it turned around for me, and maybe it's because I was in a good mood. I had no clue, but yeah, as far as pacing goes, I think it's a very entertaining film. Besides the first 10 minutes, but yeah, if you like Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, you'll probably like this film. If you do not like those two movies, I wouldn't even say give this one a shot because the first 10 minutes might turn you off so much that you might just walk out. So I'm just gonna say skip it for now. If you're curious about it, rent it. But for me personally, guys, I think it's a very solid comedy. I had some really great laughs in there, not so great laughs, and just sitting there in awkwardness. But for me personally, guys, I really enjoy it. So I'm going to get Masterminds. I know I'm going to shock everyone. I'm going to give it a B. In terms of stupid comedies and how those go, this does it pretty good. So what did you guys think of Masterminds? And I don't even need to ask that question because most people have either commented on my review of this or have just listened to me talk about it. They absolutely fucking hate it. So I think it's interesting that I'm one of the few people online that actually kind of dug it. I'm not going to rewatch it ever again. But in terms of like sitting in their theater, experiencing it for that time and one time only, it was fine. So yeah, B for Masterminds for me. So what do you guys think of it? Comment in the place where I'm on face and let me know how wrong I am. Because like I said, I'm the only one. Now moving on to the second movie, guys. Deepwater Horizon, which stars Marky Mark. Hey, how's it going? You guys doing pretty good? You guys know I was on Deepwater Horizon? It's about that oil spill. You know, I was in Transformers 4. I'm an actor. Did you know that? Hey, it's Marky Mark here. Hey, how's it going? Say hi to your mother for me, okay? That was terrible. I promise to never do that again. Actually, I take that back. When Patriots Day comes out, I'll probably do it again. But Yeah, no, it stars Mark Wahlberg. It stars John Malkovich, Kurt Russell. Whoops. And that was my microphone. Sorry for the audio listeners. My fat stomach just hit my box and it flipped over. So I apologize if I made your ears like just pop. So yeah, I apologize for that. But yeah, no, it stars all those people: Gina Rodriguez, Ethan Suplee, Dylan O'Brien, and I believe that says the main core cast. Kate Hudson. I saw the trailers to this film and I really liked them quite a bit. I was really excited to see this. Directed by Peter Berg, who did Lone Survivor, which I really enjoyed back in 2013. Guys, I kind of love this movie. It's really, really good. So let's get real and break this down. So we'll start with the writing and directing. In terms of the writing goes, this is based on a real life event, just like with Masterminds. Oh shit. Did I just start a hailstorm? No, I did not compare Masterminds and Deepwater Horizon. So just chill. Netflix and chill, folks. It's all good. Okay. But being based on a true story, you can't really take too many liberties like this, especially since it was a natural disaster in some ways. You can't just kind of go off the beaten path too much, because then people that, either survived that attack or, had families that were affected by this, you don't want to make them mad. So try to stay true to the event as much as possible, but the surrounding movie with like the family and the characters and stuff, that's fine. You can kind of tamper with that, but in terms of the actual event, you cannot fuck that up. In terms of the story, I don't think they fucked that up whatsoever. I was riveted, I was compelled, and when the actual event happened, I could not believe some of the shit that was happening on screen. When I get sunk into a movie, I really sink into it in terms of just getting involved in the story and the characters and the peril that we're kind of witnessing on screen. And the story does just that. When the events happen, it is so engrossing and it kind of just holds you by your throat and doesn't let go. And some of the shot choices with the story and just how Peter Berg chose to shoot this, it just blew my mind. I really enjoyed it on a writing level. I thought the dialogue was really well handled. Some of the scenes with Kurt Russell, Jesus Christ, like this just shows you how good of an actor he is. Like there was a couple scenes where he fucking looked John Malkovich in the face, and then like it was the mixture of the acting and the dialogue, but it was so well delivered. And I was like, damn. And there was a couple lines like that too. Like there was a line at the end with Marky Mark speaking to Gina Rodriguez. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but he says a line that really kind of got to me. It's this very simple line, but the way it was kind of spoken out and stuff, it hit on all different levels. So moving on to the directing, Peter fucking Berg, you need to do this as your MO for movies, disaster films, and real life stories. I know it's not like the most happy thing to do. It's very depressing, but you pay so much respect to the events and the people that were affected by it. I commend you, sir. Like it's really well handled. And I love what he's doing with this trilogy, this unannounced trilogy with Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and Patriots Day. Lone Survivor was like a horror film of the war and what it does to humanity, but still having the courage and the human spirit to survive through that tragedy. This one, Deepwater Horizon, is a horror film of greed and natural disaster mix, but still shows the courage of humanity and the human spirit. And the Patriots Day is a horror film about terrorism while showing the courageous nature of humanity and the human spirit. So I kind of like what he's doing here, really showing kind of like the dark depths of humanity, but really showing what people can do when they band together to save their common man or woman. And I think that's just really really commendable of him, because he really kind of creates these really uplifting type of stories to where you want to root for these people to get out alive, even though they get out alive, some of them, because you've read about the event. He just makes it feel like a fictional tale, of these random people that we've never met, but in reality, in the back of our heads, we were thinking, oh shit, this is a real story. And I think he handles it very delicately. And I commend you, Mr. Berg. Please continue to do more movies like this. Acting wise, holy shit, on fucking point. Marky Mark, one of the best performances I've seen from him in quite some time. A lot of people will look at him and go, "Oh, he's not even that good of an actor." Yes, he does movies like what was a terrible one he did? A lot of people don't really like him in the Ted movies. Contraband, Broken City, Transformers, that's what I was thinking of. But he's done some films that, people don't really look at him and take him seriously. This is a film, just like Lone Survivor and probably Patriots Day, you look at Marky Mark and go, this is why this guy is an actor. He delivers. He is commanding. You do not want to take your eyes off the screen. He does really well as the main character to really kind of step up and save these people and just really become the hero that everyone needs at that time. He is the one that keeps everyone their checks and balances. Supporting cast, amazing. Like I said, Kurt Russell, when he's talking to John Malkovich in every single scene, I was convinced that I was not watching Kurt Russell. I was watching this guy telling this BP oil executive to fuck off. So I really enjoyed his performance quite a bit, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Russell got a supporting actor nomination at the Oscars this year because of this performance. John Malkovich, great. He's slimy, he's greedy, he's disgusting, but he delivers it very, very well. Gina Rodriguez really surprised me too. Now, I have not seen Jane the Virgin, but she won her, what was it, Golden Globe or Emmy? It was one of those two. She won one of those awards for that show, so she's got some chops on her, but this one, at the very end of the movie, there's a sequence between her and Marky Mark, and she delivers. And I was like, damn, Gina, I kind of want to see more of you now. Who else am I forgetting? Dylan O'Brien does a pretty good job. I've never seen the Maze Runner movies, but I thought he did very well as one of the kind of people that gets down and dirty with the oil rigging and whatnot. And I believe that was it. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of other people that kind of just pop in and out. And Kate Hudson, I know I keep forgetting her. She does fine as the wife. I actually think that she had some emotion in her face. I've never been a huge fan of her, but this movie actually makes me kind of want to watch anything she does in the future. So I'm on a kind of level now instead of not. So hooray. Cinematography wise, this film is shot beautifully. From inside the rig to outside, shooting a wide shot of the ocean and whatnot, everything is so filled with tone and mood. And I love the claustrophobia nature of the rig when they get inside and they're trying to escape. I love the kind of like horrific wide shot approach to the fire, and it just kind of really lets you sink in to see what natural disasters can be. I thought the cinematography was so beautiful and just kind of captures this event very, very well and just capture the atmosphere of the film. There was one fucking shot that was like, Berg, you son of a bitch. This is not spoiling anything, but you guys know the oil rig blows up and they try to escape. But the BP oil executive is trying to get on the lifeboat. He turns around and the camera kind of follows him behind his shoulders. And we see him looking up at the American flag, and we see this humongous inferno behind him. I'm like, God damn it, Berg. You basically just did a 1-2 punch with the theme that you're going for. Don't mess with nature and greed. And I thought that was so brilliant when you have shots like that, and you're like, yeah, this is not only a disaster film, it's a very beautifully crafted one, and that's because of the cinematography and lighting. I was also really impressed with where they shot this, because I think they actually shot it on a real oil rig. And if not, and I'm an idiot, and I was just CGI, well, fuck me, because that looks realistic as shit. In terms of them being on the rig and you see the water in the background, that could be CGI. Now, I know the fire and stuff is mostly CGI and whatnot. But hey, maybe it was. I don't know. But either way, that was really good, and I couldn't even fucking tell. So it just adds to more of the isolation of this island, if you will, and the characters, and just kind of like the large nature scope of the film. So good job on the CGI if that was all fake. Editing wise, the movie's been an hour and 45. Never felt a drag once. starts out with Marky Mark saying goodbye to his wife, Kate Hudson, and we go on this journey. Like, there is no stopping. There's no slowdown points. It is on point all the way through. The rhythm is so well done. So, and special effects, going to those, like I said, really well handled. It looked realistic, and that's the best compliment I can give. Guys, Deepwater Horizon is a really great disaster film. Peter Berg pays major respects to the people that lost their lives while touching on the dirty themes of greed and fucking with Mother Nature and stuff. And at the very end, just like in Lone Survivor, he has a tribute piece to the 11 people that lost their lives. So rest in peace, all those people out there. And my condolences to the support for the families that have lost their loved ones and stuff. It is a very horrific tragedy for someone that fucked up and basically was thinking about greed instead of the safety of human lives. So BP oil executives that, were in charge of that, go fuck yourselves. I cannot believe that these two guys that were a part of this, the executives, were charged with manslaughter, and then the charges were dropped in 2015. The fuck? Like, it makes no fucking sense. So, guys, I love this movie. As you can tell, I had really no issues with it. Some of the minor issues, I guess, before I throw out my grade, some of the mixing with the dialogue and the music and the sound design was a little overbearing, and I couldn't really hear with the dialogue. Other than that, this is a great film. And speaking of sound design, I know I keep going to that, but when I got out of Lone Survivor, I really commented on the sound design of like when people got their bones crunched, or like when they were going through the forest and you can hear them step on the leaves very prominently. What Peter Berg does very, very well with his films is that he really immerses you into that environment, and sound design is very, very crucial. So for Deepwater Horizon, I felt I could hear and feel the oil rig, making the vibration noises, and you can hear it from a mile away, or like, the explosions from the fire, bodies being thrown into a wall and like slacked on the ground. Like, I felt every single punch of this fire, and I felt every single vibration and feeling of this oil rig. I felt like I was there. So just like with Lone Survivor, he really kind of immerses you, and the sound design is ace. Guys, I love this movie. I'm going to give Deepwater Horizon a solid A. So what did you guys think of Deepwater Horizon, or have you even heard of it? Comment in the place where I'm on my face and let me know. So yeah, let's move on to the final bit for this week, which is the box office results for September 30th through October 2nd. So let's check out Box Office Mojo. Okay. Okay. So number 6 is actually Masterminds with 6.6 million. So it didn't even break the top 5, and there's no budget listed, so I can't really check. So going on to number 5 is Sully with 8.4 million. It only dropped another 37%. This movie is fucking killing it. On a budget of 60 million, its worldwide total is at 151. You guys know the rule, double the budget, and then you got to add marketing and stuff. So I'm going to say with marketing, maybe 130, 140 to break even. So, I mean, they're kind of in the green right now. So that's really, really good that this movie just keeps killing it at the box office. Number 4 is Storks with 13.8 million. It dropped 35%. Right now, its budget is 70 million, and worldwide, it's only made 77, and it's only made like 38 million domestically. So, yikes. So that kind of sucks. Number 3 is the Magnificent 7 remake with 15.7 million. It dropped about 55%. Yeah, I really enjoyed the film quite a bit. I think it's a nice, fun little Western. So check it out if you were curious about it. Its budget is 90 million. So it needs to make about, I'm going to say with marketing and P&A, about 200 million to break even. So right now, worldwide, it's only at 82. That's pretty bad. So number 2, Deepwater Horizon with 20.6 million. That's pretty respectable. I think, let me see what Lone Survivor opened up at. It says Lone Survivor opened up with 90,000 with 2 theaters. So yeah, I forgot it was a limited release first. So yeah, 20.6 is actually pretty good for this movie. So its budget is 110 million though. With marketing, I'm going to say it needs about needs to make about 250 million to break even. It's only made 33 worldwide. Oh, fuck. Please go see this movie, guys. It's a really good one. And number one, the movie I didn't see because I had no interest in, even though I love me some Burton, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children with 28.5 million. Let's see. Its budget's also 110 million, so another big ass budget. So it needs to make about 250 to break even. Right now, worldwide, it's at 65, so it's doing better than Deepwater Horizon, but I prefer you to see Deepwater Horizon. So that will do it for the box office. And guys, that will do it for this fucking week, man. I want to thank you guys for listening once again. And tell me down below, besides that, the part in my episode where the microphone fell, does the audio sound better when I have it this close and stuff? And for YouTube, does it sound a lot better as well? I just figured since a podcast is more audio based, I want to have good, clean audio for you guys. So I think it sounds pretty good because through my headphones, it sounds pretty decent. So let me know down below if this works for you guys. And I'm sure it sounds way better than what it used to. If you guys want to have an audio version of this podcast and you're listening on Spreaker or YouTube, the link will be in the description below. If you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or SoundCloud, and you want a video version, link will be in the description below. For next week, guys, 150. Let's see. It will be over Birth of a Nation and Girl on the Train. I'm really excited for both of them, so yeah, should be pretty fun. The intro and outro music is done by my friend's band Fervent Roze. Check them out. Link in the description below. They are blowing up in Dallas. I will see you guys next week for another episode of Reel Me In: a movie podcast. And hey, listen, if you guys made it through this entire podcast and you were not movie fans, well, hopefully I convinced you to be one. I'm Chase Lee, guys. Follow me at Real Chase Lee. Subscribe to YouTube. Follow on Spreaker. Spread this around and tell people that this is a damn good show that won't make their ears bleed too much. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of this craptastic podcast. Peace out, everyone. Let's play the outro music. I'll see you guys next week.